Hi everyone, my name's Erica B. RN, and this is my daughter Kanai.
Hi.
This is my first YouTube video. I wanted to start off by saying thank you for watching.
And subscribe.
And subscribe.
And like.
And like.
If you want. Yours.
Anyways, I was asked a lot of questions on my journey on nursing school, on my current positions and my goals. I'm in school now to become a family nurse practitioner. I also got my real estate license. As a teenage mother, I suffered through postpartum depression, so I'm on a mission to build awareness for that. Yes. So I basically wanted to share my journey, and I'm going to start posting many different videos on different topics on nursing school exams and passing of real estate boards and etc., and how it was for my first year as a nurse and everything else, and how family nurse practitioner school is going. So I'm very excited to share this journey with you, and thank you for watching. Once again, what do you want them to do?
Like and subscribe only if you want to. Oh, and share and comment if you want to.
If you want to. Thank you. So a little about me. Before I decided to go into the healthcare field, I was a braider. I used to braid mostly guys here, mostly, some children too, like cornrows, designs, extensions, and I made a lot of money. I was only 16. I was 15 when I started that job, actually, and I used to make a lot of money, almost as much as I made making as a nurse. I ended up quitting that job because it was inconsistent, and I just had my son. Again, I was 17 years old when I had my son. I graduated high school, the first in my family to graduate. So I needed something that was going to be more consistent. Before I got pregnant, I wanted to be a journalist, and looking on the websites and stuff like that was not going to bring in the money. I wanted real money. Being a braider helped me obtain customer service skills. I wasn't shy to speak or anything like that. Problem solving skills and everything that I had to do, I learned from braiding. So I feel like it kind of reflected going into healthcare field once I became a CNA. I paid for my way into CNA school out of pocket at 17. That was a lot for me. I was just turning 18. I got my CNA license, and I started working for a home care agency, and also a nursing home. Now, that was a lot of experience. My first patient was checking vitals and everything and all that, and her blood pressure, which the blood pressure machine wasn't working. I couldn't get a pulse, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's not working. The machine's not working. And the nurse was like, yeah, she's dying. And I'm like, oh my God, like my first dead person like ever. I was proud to be like a CNA, and I was like gonna start healing people or whatever I thought I was gonna do, but the patient passed away. And with CNAs, I worked overnights. You have to do rounds and everything to check on your patients. And what happens? My first set of rounds, another patient passed away. Her mouth all open, eyeballs open, all that. And I just go to the nurse like, oh my God, she's passed away. I think she's dead. And they're like, oh yeah, we're expecting that. But you could have warned me. So let's just say I got into nursing really fast. The medical field really fast. And I learned a lot from the nurses and like the language and everything else, and I enjoyed it. I liked the skills that came with it, as far as the combative patients, like how to like de-escalate that and stuff. I had a good passion for that, and I enjoyed that for a little bit until I realized I love caring and all that stuff, but at the end of the day it wasn't paying enough. I really wanted to get into the hospital to get some real skills, because I knew eventually the long-term goal was to become a registered nurse. So I wanted some like really like fast-paced experience. I feel like the nursing home was kind of like overnight was kind of steady and slow. At times it had its moments where again the patients were very combative and stuff, but I know in the hospital I was going to get some real skills. So 6 months later, after becoming a CNA, I eventually got into the hospital. It was an adult call it med tele, like a telemetry floor, where there's like they have all different range of diagnoses, like from heart failure to having a diabetic coma, or I can't even remember like all the stuff we had. We had so much. There was a lot of like GI bleeds and a lot of alcohol withdrawals and stuff like that. So as a new CNA and stuff, I'm seeing all these different like people. Again, I'm like only 19 at this time. I'm like in my little bubble of like not knowing the world much. I'm still learning. So to see all these sick people, I'm like, oh my goodness. It was kind of like scary, but I was ready for it. And I love the skills. Like when I was a CNA at the hospital, I was able to do catheters, EKGs, bladder scanners, and all that stuff. So I thought all that hands-on stuff was amazing. And eventually my assessment skills, I was gathering assessment skills while I was a CNA. And so just again, the language, hearing how the doctors speak to the nurses and how the nurses are talking back and like all that stuff, it was all learning experience for me. So once I got into nursing school, it was my first time. Let me back up. I got into nursing school twice. So my first run around, I was pregnant with my daughter. I just had her and went straight into nursing, and I was working overnights. Like I was doing way too much to where I wasn't processing the information. Like I was tired. I was taking notes, falling asleep, and I'm like, I have to be honest with myself saying this is not going to work out right now. Let me fall back and figure it out. And instead of just actually falling back and figuring it out, I actually went into another degree and got my degree in public health just because I wanted to say I had a bachelor's. I wanted to graduate, which is nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, I'm not using it, and it cost me a lot of money. So it was kind of like, what was the point? But during that time, I learned how to write papers, I learned how to present. I did a lot of presentations. I did a lot of networking with public health because we had to do internships, and it was a good experience. So I feel like it helped me with where I'm at today. So I guess it really wasn't a waste of time. But eventually I'm like, okay, something has to give, and I went back into nursing. And this time I told myself, like, listen, no more excuses. You have to go full throttle. Whatever you have to do, whatever sacrifices you have to make, do it. So I ended up going per diem as a PCT, that's like a patient care technician at the hospital. And I paid my bill. I worked. I just figured it out. And I got myself to nursing school. And, I felt that journey was very great because I put myself around people that were like in the nursing program, made friends. So I developed study groups, and I learned that I'm not really good with study groups. I'm better learning alone. But I feel like the second time around, I had so much of a foundation from being a PCT that I was able to understand everything. So I wouldn't say nursing school was a breeze, but it was kind of easier the second time around because I had so much experience. And the only thing that was annoying was like the tedious assignments and stuff, and having to go to clinical every morning. 6 o'clock in the morning, you had to be for clinical, and I hated that. So I'm glad that's over. Yeah, so as I learned what I wanted, I've been through geriatrics and pediatrics and neonates. Right now I'm a nurse in the NICU. Again, I love all the skills, but I believe I got into nursing to really have a relationship with the family dynamic altogether. I believe one reflects the other. If a mom's having a baby, I'm treating the baby, but that at the end of the day is the mom that's going to take that baby home. So she needs the care too. And if she's going through like some postpartum depression or can't cope, or, especially having a baby in the NICU, it's even harder. I think it's very important for us to focus on that as well. Like, instead of just looking at the baby, looking at the family as a whole. So that's one of the reasons why I definitely want to become a family nurse practitioner, to have my own autonomy, be able to like hopefully one day open up my own practice and focus on the things I believe in. So with this channel, I plan on going into more in-depth with like different topics. There's so much to talk about with nursing. There's so much to talk about with like my life in general. I'm going through so many different things. Like I could talk about relationships because I've been through some things. I could talk about marriage. I'm a newlywed, having kids and how I dealt with it with COVID. Like there's so many things to talk about, and I would definitely like to relate to my audience. Definitely would like to talk about like breastfeeding and how it's like do different things, I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed my little spiel of my life. There's so much more to learn about me. Yeah, so keep watching and subscribe, and I believe it's down there. and let me know how you think, what you think. Thank you.